Hello, family. Trust you've been great. So let's talk about roasted peanuts. Nuts generally, not just peanuts. Nuts generally are highly beneficial for health. They contain a whole lot of nutritional benefits for health. But then, as much as they are healthy, they are also notorious in being loaded with calories. From my over 10 years experience in weight loss and health coaching, one thing that is a major culprit for keeping people stalled in their weight loss journey is snacking on nuts. Now, let me shock you. Do you know that 20 grams of roasted peanuts, which is about, say, 20 or a little over 20 pieces, contains about 117 calories? That's just about 20 pieces of roasted peanuts. Yet people snack on over 200 grams daily. That is over 1,100, 1,200 calories just for snacking on nuts. For the majority of people looking to lose some weight, your daily recommended calories is around 1,500 calories. It can vary slightly from person to person, but that is like a standard amount for people looking to lose weight. So imagine if for snacking on nuts alone, you have almost emptied your daily recommended calories for the day. So where will other things fit in? Maybe like you would want to have like a proper meal, like some say sweet potato and some vegetables. Where will things like that fit in? In fact, when people come to me that they want to add some weight, one of the, amongst other things, of course, one of the major things I recommend for them to add to their diet are nuts. Can nuts, especially roasted peanuts, nuts generally are high in calories, right? But in my reference is roasted peanuts because that is the most popular nuts that a lot of people are hooked on, right? Can nuts be a weight loss food? It can be, but not in a way that people are taking it. The only way that you can win with nuts when you are looking to lose some weight is by making it a part of a meal, not as a snack, not as a meal, not as something to just throw in your mouth randomly without properly factoring it into your calorie requirement for the day. But then with just small portions, like say 20 grams added to your Greek yogurt or added to your fruit smoothies or paired with things like cucumber, you know, 20 grams added to something else to make a meal. That is the best way to eat nuts and still lose weight effortlessly. And one that is particularly notorious in making people pile up weight is in shell nuts. That is those peanuts that comes in shell. It's easy for you to just start breaking and throwing in your mouth, breaking and throwing in your mouth without really knowing how much you are taking. So here's something I always recommend, just so that you are aware of what you are doing, right? Especially for those nuts, those peanuts that comes in shells. When you buy, the next time you buy, don't eat it on the way. Don't eat it in your car. Don't eat it where you bought it from. Actually take it home and then weigh the whole nuts with the shells, right? And go ahead and eat it. I recommend to write down what you weighed before eating, just so that you don't forget while you're enjoying the nuts. And then when you have eaten, do not discard the shells, right? Gather them together and then weigh the empty shells. After you have eaten the nuts from them, weigh the empty shells. Now, that initial weight you got before you started eating with the nuts and shells together, take the empty shells and subtract from that initial weight. That is the weight of the nuts with the shells together before you started eating minus the weight of the empty shells after you have finished eating, the result that you get is what you will now weigh again. That is, you're weighing 3 times. You're weighing before you eat, you are weighing the empty shells, and the result you get from subtracting the empty shells from the initial weight, it is now that new figure that you will now weigh. That is what will give you the calories in the amount of nuts that you consumed, nuts in shells that you consumed. So if you find that it's actually a lot, it can now help you. Being aware will now help you regulate how much you buy the next time you are buying and how much you are consuming, so that you don't think that you are making efforts to lose weight. Meanwhile, the amount of nuts you are consuming is sabotaging your efforts. So not just nuts in shell, weigh all nuts that you're eating, plus the one the normal roasted nuts that comes in bottles, and the one that is still in the shell. Weigh all of them to be sure of what you're consuming. Okay, talk to you soon.